Psychological tricks that control you without you knowing. Right now, as you're watching this video, your brain is being tricked. Not by me. Well, maybe a little by me. But mostly by the world around you. Every store you walk into, every app you open, every ad you scroll past. They are all designed to manipulate the way you think, feel, and spend your money. And the scariest part? Most of these tricks are so subtle you never even notice them. You just think you're making your own choices, but you're not. At least not as often as you think. Today, we're going to break down the psychological tricks that control your behavior every single day. And once you see them, you will never unsee them. Let's start with one you've probably fallen for this week. Trick 1, the decoy effect. Imagine you walk into a coffee shop. You see two sizes on the menu. Small coffee, $3. Large coffee, $7. Most people would probably pick the small one. $3 sounds reasonable. $7 feels like a lot, but then the shop adds a third option. Medium coffee, $6.50. Now look at the menu again. Small, $3. Medium, $6.50. Large, $7. Suddenly the large doesn't look so expensive anymore. Because compared to the medium, you're only paying 50 cents more for a bigger size. That seems like a great deal. So now instead of buying the $3 coffee, you buy the $7 one. And you feel smart about it. But here's the thing. The medium was never meant to be sold. It was put there specifically to make the large look like a better deal. That's called the decoy effect. Companies add a third option not because they want you to buy it, but because it changes how you see the other options. And it works everywhere. Movie theater popcorn, small, $5. Medium, $7.50. Large, $8. Nobody buys the medium. But because it exists, the large suddenly looks like a steal. Subscription plans, basic, $10 plus $22. Premium, $25. That plus plan is just a decoy. It makes premium look like the obvious choice. You've been falling for this your entire life, and you probably never even questioned it. Until now. Trick 2, the anchoring effect. Let me ask you a question. Would you pay $800 for a pair of headphones? Probably not. That sounds insane. But what if I told you those headphones were originally $2,000 and now they're on sale for $800? Suddenly, $800 doesn't sound so bad. In fact, it kind of sounds like a bargain, but nothing actually changed about the headphones. They're the same product. The only thing that changed is that I showed you a higher number first. That's called anchoring. Your brain grabs onto the first number it sees and uses it as a reference point for everything that comes after. This is why stores put the original price right next to the sale price. A jacket that says was $200, now $89.99. You don't think, is this jacket actually worth $90? You think, I'm saving $110. But what if that jacket was never worth $200 in the first place? What if the original price was made up just to make the sale price look amazing? This happens more often than you'd think. Real estate agents do this too. They show you a terrible, overpriced house first. Then they show you the house they actually want you to buy. Compared to the first one, the second house looks incredible. Even if it's still overpriced, your brain was anchored to the first number, and once that anchor is set, it is incredibly hard to ignore it. Every negotiation, every sale, every price tag. The first number you see controls everything that comes after. Trick 3. Why stores put milk at the back? Have you ever noticed that in grocery stores, the most basic items are always at the very back? Milk, eggs, bread, the stuff you actually came to buy, it's never near the entrance. You have to walk through the entire store to get to it. And on the way there, you pass the snacks, the drinks, the buy one, get one free display, the seasonal items you didn't know you needed. And by the time you get to the milk, your cart already has 12 things in it. That is not an accident. Every single item in a grocery store is placed with extreme precision. The expensive brands are at eye level. The cheap ones are on the bottom shelf where you have to bend down. The candy and toys are placed low, at a kid's eye level, so children see them and start asking. Even the music playing in the store is chosen carefully. Slow music makes you walk slower. And the slower you walk, the more you buy. The entire store is a psychological machine designed to make you spend more than you planned. And it works. Studies show that the average person buys over 60% more than what was on their original shopping list. 60%, all because the milk is at the back. Trick 4. The scarcity trick, only 2 left in stock. Limited time offer. Sale ends tonight. Exclusive, only available for the next 24 hours. You've seen these messages 1,000 times. And every single time, something inside you panics a little. Even if you didn't want the thing 5 seconds ago, the moment someone tells you it's about to disappear, suddenly you need it. That's called the scarcity principle. When something feels rare or limited, your brain automatically assumes it must be valuable. Because in nature, things that are scarce usually are valuable. Food. Water, resources. If something is running out, you better grab it now, and companies have figured out how to weaponize that instinct. Airline websites do this constantly. Only 3 seats left at this price? Is that true? Maybe. But it also might reset tomorrow. They just want you to feel the pressure right now. Clothing brands do limited drops on purpose. Not because they can't make more, but because when something is limited, people want it more. Supreme, Nike, designer brands, they all use artificial scarcity. They could produce 1,000,000 units. But they make 10,000 instead, because when it sells out in seconds, it creates hype, and hype creates demand, and demand makes people pay way more than they normally would. Here's the wildest part. Researchers did a study where they gave people 2 identical jars of cookies. One jar had 10 cookies in it, the other had 2. People consistently rated the cookies from the nearly empty jar as tasting better. Same exact cookies. But because there were fewer of them, people's brains decided they must be better. Scarcity doesn't just change what you buy. It literally changes how things taste to you. That is terrifying. Trick 5, free, the most dangerous word. There is one word in marketing that overrides all logic. Free. The moment something is free, your brain stops thinking rationally. A researcher named Dan Ariely ran a famous experiment. He offered people 2 choices: a fancy chocolate truffle for 15 cents or a basic chocolate kiss for 1 cent. Most people chose the truffle. Makes sense. Better deal. But then he changed the prices. The truffle was now 14 cents. The kiss was now free. Both prices dropped by the same amount, 1 cent. Logically, the truffle is still the better deal. But this time, the majority of people chose the free kiss. The moment something becomes free, it becomes irresistible. Even when the math says the other option is better. This is why buy one get one free works so well. This is why free shipping makes you buy more. This is why apps are free to download but charge you later. Companies know that the word free is basically a cheat code for your brain. It shuts down your rational thinking. And it turns on your grab it now instinct. You are not immune to this. Nobody is. Trick 6. Social proof. Imagine you're walking down a street and you see 2 restaurants. One is completely empty. The other has a line out the door. Which one do you want to eat at? The one with the line, obviously. But why? You've never been to either restaurant. You don't know anything about the food. You're literally choosing based on what other people are doing. That's called social proof. When you don't know what to do, you look at what everyone else is doing and copy them. This is why reviews matter so much. 50,000 5-star reviews makes you trust a product instantly, even though you've never met a single one of those 50,000 people. This is why influencers work. If someone you follow is using a product, your brain thinks it must be good, even though that person was paid to say that. This is why TV shows used laugh tracks. Studios literally added fake laughter to shows, because studies showed that when people hear others laughing, they find things funnier. You laugh more at the same jokes just because you hear strangers laughing. And the most manipulative version of this. 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this toothpaste. That sentence has sold billions of dollars worth of toothpaste, but nobody ever asks, which dentists? What were they asked? Who paid for the study? You just hear 9 out of 10 and your brain says, good enough for me. Trick 7. The IKEA Effect. In the 1950s, a company started selling instant cake mix. Just add water, put it in the oven, done. It should have been a massive hit, but it flopped. Nobody bought it, and the reason was fascinating. It was too easy. People didn't feel like they had actually baked anything. So the company changed the recipe. Now you had to add an egg, that's it. 1 egg. The product was basically the same. But now people felt like they had put in effort, and sales exploded. This is called the IKEA Effect. When you put effort into building or creating something, you value it way more than it's actually worth. This is why IKEA furniture feels so satisfying even though the instructions nearly destroyed your sanity. This is why people overvalue their own cooking. This is why you think your Spotify playlist is better than anyone else's. You made it, so it must be great. Companies use this everywhere. Customizable products, build your own meals, design your own shoes. They're not giving you control because they're generous. They're giving you control because once you put effort in, you're way more likely to buy it. And way less likely to return it. You paid for the product, but you fell in love with your own effort. Trick 8, loss aversion. Here's a question. Would you rather receive $100 or avoid losing $100? Logically, they're the same thing, but psychologically, they are very different. Studies show that losing something feels about twice as painful as gaining the same thing feels good. This is called loss aversion, and it controls more of your decisions than you realize. Your free trial ends in 2 days. That message doesn't make you think, cool, I got to try it for free. It makes you think, I'm about to lose something, and that feeling of loss is so uncomfortable that you pay to keep it. Even if you barely use the trial. Don't miss out is more powerful than check this out. Last chance hits harder than new opportunity, because your brain is wired to avoid loss more than it seeks gain. Casinos know this. That's why people keep gambling after they lose. They're not chasing a win, they're trying to undo a loss, and that's a trap that almost never ends well. So let's recap. The decoy effect makes you buy the expensive option. Anchoring tricks you with fake, original prices. Store layouts force you to buy things you didn't plan to. Scarcity creates fake urgency. The word free shuts off your brain. Social proof makes you follow the crowd. The IKEA effect makes you overvalue your own effort. And loss aversion makes you terrified of losing things you barely wanted. These tricks are everywhere. Every store, every app, every website, every ad. And now that you know them, you'll start seeing them constantly, which is either empowering or really, really annoying. Probably both. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe. Because your brain is being manipulated every single day. And the least you can do is know how. Thanks for watching. Click here for more videos like this. And remember, the next time something feels like a great deal, ask yourself, is it actually a great deal? Or did someone just design it to feel that way?